Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Tea Time Tuesday. We're so thankful that you are joining us today. We're streaming live here at the Renewal Center, and we just want to say happy Tuesday to everyone. It's good to see all of our tea timers and knowing that you're doing great on this Tuesday afternoon. Just want to say welcome to those that are new to our Tea Time broadcast. We broadcast every Tuesday at noon and then on our fourth Tuesday at 7 o'clock. And so we're so glad that you're here with us today. We hope everyone is having a great afternoon. I know that we're having a great afternoon. We want you to go ahead, invite your friends, invite your family, your colleagues, and then even invite them over to our YouTube channel because we're streaming live over there. And we would love for you to keep up with what we're doing here at the Renewal Center. So this is a great day. It's over here where we are in the historic district of Concord. It's kind of rainy here and a little dreary, but that's okay because we're really excited about being here with you, our Tea Time community. So hello, Renita. It's good to see you, sis. And I'm so glad that you're joining us today. It's good to see everybody out there. We see Michelle. Good afternoon, Michelle. Thank you for joining us today here at the Renewal Center for Tea Time Tuesday. And there's our executive director. He's welcoming all of our tea timers today. And so Hope and I are so glad that you are joining us this afternoon. And so while you're doing that, grab your journals, grab your tea. Like I said, invite your friends. Let them know that we're streaming live and that we're so excited about our renewal practices today. And while we are doing that, we're still continuing in the month of January, which is Mental Wellness Month. We have been talking about mental wellness and how important it is for our well-being. This is the time to show support and advocate for mental health and nurturing well-being and resilience. And, resilience is part of what we do here at Tea Time Tuesday. So let's remember that Mental Wellness Month is here in January. We can do different things to foster well-being. So excited about that. And then also, not only is something that we're doing, but we're going to go into our tea of the week. And we love talking about our tea. It's orange lemon tea this week. For those that need a little bit of tanginess and a little bit of zest into their day, orange lemon tea is a very good option. It's a mixture of any type of tea, green tea, black tea, oolong tea. And of course, you're going to add some lemon, some oranges in there, kind of steep and brew them together and bring it together for a nice, tangy, refreshing hot tea or a cold tea if you want to try it like that. But anyway, tea of the week, once again, is lemon orange tea. Well, orange lemon tea. Sorry about that. I got it backwards. But nevertheless, it's a very good tea that I think that you would enjoy. So while we're underway and we're getting ready to locate ourselves, I want to ask a question to all of you. How are you doing today? And if you're feeling good, if you're feeling great, go ahead and put it in the chat. Put a positive sentiment or something great that you would like to say to the other tea timers in our community this morning in the chat as we get ready to go into a time of locating ourselves. So we're going to take our time, locate ourselves, kind of allow our shoulders to fall back a little bit and unclench our hands and relax our hands. And let's just go on a visual journey right there in front of you as we take some deep breaths to just relax ourselves. We're going to do that for a few minutes here. Few more seconds and we'll be done locating ourselves. Oh, all right. That was really nice. That aerial view of the ocean just crashing on
Mhm.
the coast right there, right, Hope?
Yes, it's beautiful.
I
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
felt renewed. I felt really
Yes.
good. We see some people out there that have already put in the chat how they're feeling and their positive words this morning. It's so good that everybody is placing in the chat how they feel. And also, why don't you go ahead and put in the chat the refreshing beverage that you're having? Are you having tea? Are you having some water today? What are you having? So, good afternoon, Chanel. It's good to see everybody. Daphne and Charlisa, Nicole. It's good to see everyone this morning. And oh, Michelle is feeling peaceful. Wow. Yes, this is great. Well, we're going to go into our renewal practices with Hope, and she's going to draw us in for this month of Wellness Month. So thank you for joining us today.
All right. Well, good afternoon. Hello, Carmela. How are you? Good afternoon to you all. And welcome to Tea Time. I'm just excited to be here. And I see all of those who are chiming in with where they are as we located ourselves. How are you
Mhm.
doing today? And to see many different reactions. I think some of the comments have come in as well. All right. So I see here. All right. Thanks so
Yeah.
much for sharing that. All right,
Mhm.
hazelnut. Okay.
I can smell it.
Daphne says it's a coffee. It's coffee for me this morning. All right. All right. Rested.
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
right. Spiced tea for me and hot cocoa for Samia. All
All right.
right. It's good. Hot cocoa. I love hot cocoa.
Mhm.
So we're just excited to be here this afternoon. Welcome, Tea Time community, where we pause, reset, and build resilience. And we've had our time of pause with locating ourselves. If you are new viewer to Tea Time, we just want to welcome all our new viewers for the first time. Welcome to Tea Time Tuesday. Please make sure to like and share this broadcast as well. We're over there on YouTube, so join us on YouTube as well if you want to view us on YouTube, and follow us on YouTube as well. Even on YouTube, you can go back and see some of the previous tea times as well. So I'm just excited, Carmela, to be here this morning and just talk about our tea time for, as we're starting off this new year and things are going all right. I'm just excited about our tea time and our tea time community. And so today,
Yeah.
I know we talked about this being the mental wellness month. And so this afternoon, we're going to talk a little bit about mental wellness, and how to embrace mental wellness and what it actually is. So just going to share a few things, and some things. So make sure that you have your notebook, your tea time journal out. You have your pen. I see that everybody has their drink of choice this afternoon, and let's get ready to engage and chime in. Looking forward to your engagement as we are a tea time community. So I just want to ask the question to all of our tea timers out there: what does mental wellness mean to you? When you hear mental wellness, what comes to mind? You can go ahead and chime in the chat. What comes to mind when you think of mental wellness? All right, so I'm going to allow you guys to go ahead and chime in. I see some comments coming in. All right. Chanel says she has iced black tea with raspberry. That sounds refreshing.
It does.
Yeah, that sounds really refreshing. Thank you so much for sharing that. When you think of mental wellness, what comes to mind for you? What comes to mind? What do you think of? And so we're going to talk a little bit about mental wellness because this is Mental Wellness Month. We're going to talk a little bit about it, and even looking at this picture and all the flowers that's coming out. So what do you see when you see that? What do you think when you think of mental wellness and the mental wellness? Since this is the month where we are observing mental wellness. I see someone coming in. I see Monique. All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right. I see Dr. Paul Brown. Aloha tea timers. All right. Aloha to you, Dr. Paul Brown. Thanks so much for joining. I see our executive director has chimed in. When my mind is in order and serving my best emotional and mental interests. All right. Thank you so much for sharing that, Patrick, this afternoon. Thank you for sharing that about mental wellness. And so when we think of mental wellness, we look at that word wellness, and that means, just well. How is our, embracing things that make our minds and who we are just a bit more healthier and a bit more stronger. So when we think of the mental wellness, we think of it as it helps us to connect and function in an active process that helps us to build resilience, grow, and flourish. Okay, so it's like an active process of building resilience, growing, and flourishing, and it helps us to make connections. And so we're going to talk about a few areas of mental wellness. Carmela, what do you think of when you think of or when you hear mental wellness? What comes to mind for you?
I would say optimal wellness in our emotions, positivity, a state of positivity, of well-being, a healthy state of well-being. I think that's what comes to my mind, a healthy state of being, of well-being.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. Thank you. You know what? You said something. You said a healthy state of well-being, and that's really good. So it's focusing on the things that make us healthy emotionally, make us
Right.
healthy in our thoughts, make us healthy in our connections and relationships with others. And so we're going to talk just about a few things, and I love everybody to chime in with their comments of what they think mental wellness is for them and how important it is to you. How important is it that we have mental wellness? How important is it that we function every day or in our everyday lives with being in a state where mentally we are well, mentally we are healthy? And so I just want to share just a few things regarding mental wellness this month. And I'm going to start with thinking. Okay. So when I say thinking, when we hear mental wellness, what do you think about thinking? What comes to mind when you think with your thoughts, how you process your thoughts and different things? Your thoughts, they affect your mood. Okay. And even when I was reading about it and taking some classes regarding mental wellness, it's basically thoughts about how you think about yourself, and it also is when you take time to kind of like evaluate your thoughts. What are you thinking? What's the source of your thinking? How do you process things? Do you think negatively about yourself? Do you think negatively about others? How is your thoughts making you feel? Okay, so is it from a negative perspective or a positive perspective? So sometimes just practicing a positive posture of thinking helps to kind of breed good mental health. So when I say practicing, meaning that's something that we're doing, every day, practicing that posture of thinking, of positive thinking, okay, helps us to have good mental health. And even in those times of negativity or things that are going on, we're practicing the posture of redirecting our thinking toward a more positive mindset. And so this is where you develop that resilience there. This is where you've developed that positive thinking. And sometimes it helps to help you navigate through certain circumstances and situations. Okay. So when I practice a posture of good thinking, it breaks up the negative thoughts. It breaks up the negative thinking. So I would love for you to chime in. Where are you at in your thoughts when it comes to your mental well-being? Where are you at in your thoughts? Taking time to kind of like, are you redirecting your thoughts to think about things that made you laugh or think about things that made you smile or those things that giving you good memories or good feelings? So I just want to ask, and as you chime in, where are you when it comes to how you think? your thoughts are, how you're processing. This is all effective to your mental well-being. Is how you think first, and how you evaluate things and how you process things that's going on around you, with your perspective and how you think. Carmela, did you want to add anything?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, when you were talking about how we view ourselves or others or whatever, what jumped out to me is how do we feel about our outcomes when you thought about thinking about our mindset. And it just made me think about, are we pessimistic or are we optimistic about our outcomes? How do we see things? How are our perceptions about, do we think that the glass is half full or is it half empty all the time?
Right,
And
right.
so that's kind of like when you were asking about what came to mind about thinking. And then I said, well, about outcomes, how I feel about outcomes or view the way I process things into thinking, what would the outcome be of everything? And so I think that's what's really resonating with me. Optimistic or are we pessimistic about things? Or
Yes.
middle of the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes, with everything that we see and everything that sometimes we view, it can cause sometimes the pessimistic thoughts to lay there and reside there, and sometimes even take root. And then
Mm-hmm.
there's a pattern of negative thinking, a pattern that affects how I feel, a pattern that affects my mood, and a pattern of how it can affect the outcomes that I'm dealing with. And so it looks
Yeah.
like we have some comments that have come in. So I'm going to go ahead and see what's out here. All right. Chanel says a positive overall mental state.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Carmela, you want to take that comment?
Healthy state of well-being. Kind
Good.
of requoting what I said earlier about a healthy state of well-being.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes. All right. This is to subscribe to our YouTube. If you want to join us over there. Monique says it's very important to have mental wellness. Our emotional and mental well-being can impact in a positive or negative way, depending on where you are and how you are feeling.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's good.
All right. All right. Patrick says that's good. How do we think about our outcomes? All right. You can take the next comment.
Michelle, she's saying, I realize my thinking depends on how well I am. If I'm not well, my thinking will not be either. That is so true.
That is
That's
true.
good.
That is
Hmm.
very true, and I'm glad that you all are chiming in with that. So even with that, and all the things that we shared, and you said the pessimistic or optimistic type view, it
Yeah.
depends on what I'm focusing on. Am I practicing positive thinking
Yeah.
that helps to breed good mental health?
Hmm.
Because it's kind of like, in because I do gardening, I think about the dirt and the soil. So if the soil is bad, the plant's not going to grow, it's not going to last. And so it affects the growth of the plant. And so our soil affects the growth and affects our mindset
That's
and our
good.
current condition. So if my soul is of positivity, now we're all human. We have our days where, things don't go quite as well. But sometimes it's how long we stay there. How long are we allowing it to nurture into our soil, and taking the time to evaluate it. So for me, it's important to just take that time to kind of evaluate where I am and evaluate what is in my soil
Hmm.
that is affecting my growth and my growth mindset and my mindset period regarding just my mental wellness. So the soil is conducive to the wellness of the plant, and so the soil of our minds are conducive to the wellness of our thoughts. And so that's the way that I look at it because of gardening. And I think about that, Carmela, when I'm gardening, I'm always looking at the soil.
Hmm.
After I plant the seed, I have to make sure that there is good soil for this seed to cultivate, and so for this plant
Oh, that
to
is so
grow.
true.
Yeah. So
That's
see some
good.
comments coming in here. All right.
That's real good. What can I say something real quick?
Well, yeah, sure.
I like that you equated that with the soil. I really do, because my mind went to the fact that that is so true. And there's been times I've planted things and the soil that I bought was not, it wasn't a good bag of soil. And then when I went and I said, well, you know what? Let me just dig this up and take the old soil out and put the fresh one in, the new one, the better one. And the plant just thrived. The soil wasn't all hard and pale looking, and you can see the life coming back to it once you get the right soil. So I like that you're equating this. This is so relevant.
The soil, so yeah, and that's good what you said, because then it's the question of what's in my soil. You know,
this is good.
Taking time to evaluate what is at the root, because sometimes in the soil you have to water that soil. You have to do certain things to keep it healthy and nurtured so that the seed can grow. You can't have a plant in the pot and it's dried up and you never water it. You it's just sitting there, but you're expecting this outcome, but you're not doing what's needed to cultivate the soil for the outcome to take place. And so it's just, so that's just what we want to share. And I'm glad everybody chimed in on thinking, the point of thinking when it deals with mental well-being. How am I thinking? How am I thinking? All right. And so we're going to just move on to our next, and you can still chime in if you're still thinking about it as well. We want to chime into connecting. And when we say connecting, what comes to mind when you see connecting? What comes to mind when it comes to your well-being when you see connecting? Go ahead and chime in. What comes to mind to you, Carmela, when you think of connecting and well-being?
I think it's almost like putting the electrical unit into the socket, and how it brings energy. It's like it's on then, and I equate that not just to a relational piece of things, but connecting to things that's going to bring vibrancy into your life and vitality. Going back to the mental, going back into that healthy state of well-being. What am I connecting to things that are going to bring life to me? Am I connecting to things that's going to add and multiply, or am I connecting to things that are subtracting and dividing? So when I see connecting, I'm looking at what am I plugged into? Because what you're plugged into is what you're getting the energy from somewhere.
Yeah. Wow. That's good. I'm glad you shared that. I hope you guys are taking down this in your tea time journal so that you can go back and look back at it and just, remember and remind yourself. And so when we're talking, when you say mental wellness and connecting and what we're connecting to, we understand that mental wellness, the aspect of connecting, because we're social type of people. We're social beings. And so it's important that we're connected to people. It's important that we're connected, like you were saying, the source of the connection, having meaningful relationships, meaningful exchanges, fostering healthy relationships. It's important on who we're connected to, and how we're connected, making sure that, we're connected with those who bring that type of, positive things into our environment. I see a comment that's come in. I'll go ahead and we'll put that up. All right. And I need healthy people in my life, so I try to bring my healthy self to others. That's good. Wow, that's good. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay. And I see that Michelle has a comment. If you want to take that one, Carmela.
Yeah, sure. Michelle is saying connecting. That equals choose wisely what you connect yourself to. What is the source of my connections? People, places, and things.
Wow. Thanks so much. Yeah, that's good. All right. I'll take the next one. Charlisa says, are my attachments breeding life? What am I feeding my soul? All right. That's good. Thank you so much for sharing that, Charlisa. That's good. All right. Take the next one. All right.
Okay. Paulie, he's saying yes. It's good to be able to identify when one is connected to something good and positive to your life. bad connections can truly affect one's health. No stress. Oh, that is the epitome of what you're talking about
Yes.
mental wellness.
Yeah, and that's
No
good.
stress.
Wow. Thanks so much for sharing that, Paulie. This has just been, like I said, the connections are important. And even being with others, and we spend time with others, even if we sometimes some people like to spend time, they have their time alone. I'm one of those type people that likes to, I embrace my alone time. I love my alone time, but it's just as important for me to embrace connections and embrace relationships and be around people who bring positivity. I like what Patrick said too, Carmela, when he said bringing my best self,
Health.
bringing my best healthy self. And that's really, really good. And so even in making these connections, sometimes it helps with even the quality of your life. It helps with your experiences, your social experiences, and the things that you're interested in. It gives, I would say, fosters a healthy mindset
Mm-hmm.
as well, and it helps to help. And you know what, being connected also helps with anxiety and depression as well. That's the importance of connection, because we're relational people, and
Mm-hmm.
we were made to connect and be with people, and it gives great that we can connect with others. So I see some comments that are coming in. Oh, that's okay. See comment that's coming in from you. All right. She's saying yes, bro. Yes. That's good. So we want to, and I want to ask the question to everybody out there that's watching in our Tea Time community. How is your connecting? If you were to rate it from 1 to 5, one being the lowest and 5 being the highest, how are your connection with your relationships and your connecting? Is it something that you need to work on? Is it something that you need to take a new perspective on? Where are you when it comes to connection with others, and how you're connecting with others as well? So you guys can chime in with that. And so even, like I said, it increases you know, our lives, interacting with others, just a brief conversation. I call it sometimes, for me, I'll call up one of my old friends and we may shoot the breeze. Just, hey, how are you? How you been doing? Haven't heard from you. That's really, really good. And so it helps us to just be connected, and that connection is so important. It's so
Mm.
important. See comment coming in from Patrick. Tea Time Tuesday connects us to renewal practices and each other. Grateful for Tea Time Tuesday. Thank
Yes.
you so much, Patrick, our executive director,
Yes.
for sharing. That's right. We make a connection here when we come together in our Tea Time community by sharing. And it's just been wonderful. And it's a great way that we have been pausing and we reset, and what we built resilience. And so it's really something that we have been able to embrace as well. So as you continue to chime in, we talked about thinking. How are you with thinking? We talked about connection, and chime in. Where are you in your place of connecting with others? Between 1 to 5, and you can write this down in your journal. And if it's something that you need to improve on, if it's something that you need to work on, you can go ahead and work on that and work on your connections. Maybe it's reaching out to somebody you haven't heard from in a while, or just making connection with somebody to go to breakfast or lunch, and even sometimes even a FaceTime video or video call or a Zoom call. We can maximize all the platforms that we have and still make a connection. Sometimes we have to have that actual human touch connection, of seeing people, and then we maximize when we have to do things virtually. But there is a way for us to connect, and connection is important to our well-being as well. So I'm going to move along. We're going to go to the next one and continue to write these things down into your journal, into what you're writing down. So how we're going to talk about is feeling, okay? And when I say feeling with with mental health, how are you feeling? I see a comment has come in. Great connections make room for great encouragement. Wow, that's good. That's really good. And I'm glad that you said that, because we were saying about connections, how it helps to aid in reading of some types of depression and certain things that we may be facing or going through. So when we talk about feelings, that's the emotional part.
Mm-hmm.
Um, our emotions play a big part in our mental well-being. Carmela, what do you have to say about that as far as the emotional part and how it plays into our well-being?
I think it's one of the most important because that's how we're wired. That's how we're built. And, just in all practicality, we are led by emotions. And sometimes, I mean, in all honesty, because that's just how we are. And so sometimes I think it's looking at from the perspective of what you're talking about, mental wellness, our emotions, are we led, by the emotion? Let's just say the fear, or
Mm-hmm.
being led by worry. I'm just throwing some of these things out that are just jumping. Or it could be elation. Or it could be encouragement. Are we encouraged? Are we led by encouragement? Because encouragement can lead us to persevere, to do things in confidence. But maybe we're led by hurt, or and if you're doing that, maybe that leads to other things. So I think it's an effect that affects. It's what do you call it? Cause and effect with our
Mm-hmm.
feelings, and how are we led to do. Are we led through our feelings? Because our feelings will lead us into whatever avenue we're going down.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
it's very important that we look at how we're feeling
Mm-hmm.
in the moment.
That's good. You said it leads us to the path that we go down.
Mm-hmm.
That's good, because it is, emotions play a big part in our mental well-being.
Yeah.
And feeling how our feelings are, how our emotions are, it affects even our everyday activities and
Yeah.
relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and overall mental health. So these particular things are very important. How I feel and why I feel the way I feel is very
Mm-hmm.
important. And so sometimes when we're not feeling our best, or sometimes I call it, because I used to do this, suppress my feelings and things. I don't do it anymore. I'm thankful, but I used to do it. In transparency, it can drain you mentally.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's good to have a way to be able to express our
Oh,
feelings
man.
freely, and find
Yeah.
healthy ways and healthy channels to be able to express um, our feelings. And then also with expression our feelings, it keeps me mentally sharp. I'm not mentally drained with constantly holding everything in. And so that's why it's important for the connection, because
Mm-hmm.
connection, I can speak, I can talk, I can say, hey, I'm not feeling okay today. I'm going through something. And that's where that encouragement came in, that even Paulie said about the encouraging of one another. So
Right.
just encouraging that comes from those particular things. So emotional wellness, it's really, I'll say that for me, it's not the absence of negative feelings. We're just going to, I mean, just we have to be transparent. We're going to
Right.
have days where we're not feeling
That's
well.
right.
But what happens is it gives us the opportunity to be able to kind of address those feelings, and then have to be able to adapt with certain stresses and adapt with certain changes in difficult situations, and being able to identify how I'm feeling. How When I identify how I'm feeling, I'm able to navigate through certain situations and circumstances at times, and being able to express it in a positive, healthy manner. Okay. And that helps to build resilience.
Yeah. I was just thinking that the resilience piece.
Yeah, it helps to build resilience by
Yeah.
doing something and expressing healthy manners. Sometimes I may need to take a walk. Sometimes I may need to focus on a hobby or talking to a friend. So I see we have some comments that come in. We'll go ahead and share those. All right. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. Renita says, I think I'm at a 4 for connecting with those I'm close to, family and close friends. I try to call or text them. It's usually a link to music, a Bible verse, or something silly to give them a laugh. I do want to be more intentional about connecting with some other family members I haven't spoken to in a while. All right.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for sharing that and actually answering that and chiming in and engaging. Thank you so much for being transparent. All right. You can take the next comment, Carmela.
Okay, Michelle. Michelle is saying divine connections inspire and empower ourselves and others. Yes, I
Good.
like that.
That's
I
good.
like that.
Charlisa says, I'm discovering I'm in need of connecting more with family and friends when I'm experiencing moments of where my emotional tank is low.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your transparency there, Charlisa, regarding where you are and your connection and where you are, even when we talked about the emotional part of mental wellness, is our emotions need to be well. And also the part about when things are not going well, how am I navigating in those places and spaces where things I don't feel well? I may have had a hard meeting. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just, I have, and I do weekly. And it's just like, how am I navigating through those things? And at the end, I want to share some things that I'm going to challenge our tea timers to do and
This
put
is
together.
good.
But we're going to do that at the end. I'm going to challenge you all to do something and engage in something as well. So, all right. So we talked about thinking. We talked about feeling. We talked about connection, and so we want to talk about functioning, okay? And how we function in mental wellness. How are we functioning? How is that going? When we say functioning, what comes to mind when you hear functioning? What do you think about, Carmela, when it comes to functioning and mental wellness?
How are we operating?
Mm-hmm.
How are we, how are we operating? How are
Mm-hmm.
we maneuvering?
Yeah,
Um, Kind
that's
of
good.
takes me back to what you were saying. Well, when would say something happens and you're sitting there thinking about it all the time, to the point that an hour's gone, 2 hours gone, you haven't done anything because that thing has affected the way you do things. So that would be the functioning part of it, is how am I managing through things? How am I operating through things? This is so relevant. This is so good because this challenges to see the whole picture of what well-being is. The functioning part of it too is like the effect of how we're doing things, how things
Right.
affect us, how we move in it.
Yeah, that's really good. And I'm glad you shared that, how we're moving in it.
Yeah.
And that's really good because it causes us to be mindful and it causes us to bring awareness. And
Mm-hmm.
awareness is power. And that's what we're doing today. We're bringing awareness to our mental well being. And
Yeah.
so this is the opportunity. Basically, functioning for me is just my overall mental well being. How
Mm-hmm.
am I embracing all those particular areas?
That's
It
good.
includes my thinking, it includes my decision making, and how do I manage difficult situations or situations that may cause stress, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And how is my decisions making? How is it, how does it affect my behavior and what you said earlier, my outcome? you know how does it
Yeah.
affect my outcome? How does it affect my behavior? So go ahead and chime in. When you're thinking about this, tea timers, what comes to mind with functioning? How are you handling your thinking, making good decisions, managing difficult situations? How has that been for you? And this is a time where you can actually journal, write this down, and go back and kind of reflect on it and write down in your journal about your functioning. So we talked about mental wellness and how it affects us and how important it is to have mental wellness and process and moving in resilience and flourishing as well. And so this helps us to today, it's helping us to shift our perspective away from certain negative thoughts and I call, what do you call it, stigmas and things of that nature that may be shared amongst other people. And so with
That's
being
good.
in mental wellness, we're right now shifting and allowing our perspective to change. If there's any negative thing or how I view or think about something, we're being reminded and being made aware today to be able to shift those perspectives by taking on a posture of positive thoughts and making those connections. How am I thinking? My well-being in certain areas. So I see that some have shared. I'm going to go ahead and put those up, I think. Okay, I think we already did that one. All right. Okay, Charlisa says processing expressions, expressing our emotions. Okay. Carmela, you can take the next one.
Okay, Paulie, he's saying when our mental well being is in check, our feelings are in check and our daily flow isn't interrupted.
That's good.
Hmm?
Thank you for sharing that.
Focused.
All right, Michelle says functioning. How balanced am I in this space? Where do I need to make some adjustments? Absolutely.
Mm,
That's a part
mm,
of functioning.
mm.
Renita says, I appreciate you saying that in functioning in mental wellness, you are more than just being, you are flourishing. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Renita, for sharing that. I like that you are flourishing.
Mhm.
Hashtag that in the tea timers. Go ahead and hashtag you
Yes.
are flourishing or hashtag flourishing.
You are
And
flourishing.
we're going to
Yes.
be in agreement about that because that's what we're doing. This is bringing awareness so that what we can have a healthier mind and a healthier state of being. And so, right now, I just want to take a moment as we move on before our last tea time, our last practice that I want to challenge you all on is I want to take you the opportunity to be able to give to the Renewal Center. We're a nonprofit organization, and we want you to give to the Renewal Center. Connect with us, the vision, the mission, by sowing your seed, by joining us in this Giving Tuesday. We have some of our giving located here on the bottom of the screen here for you. But this is our Giving Tuesday. So we want you to be a part of Giving Tuesday 2024. Join us in this giving season as we give together. And I'm going to go ahead and put that information up for you as well. Our expanded ways that you can give through our digital giving here. We have several ways that you can give. We've made it so easy and convenient for you to be able to give right from your phone, right from the computer, right through Cash App. We have our website. We have our text to give. If you want to mail a money order or a check, you may do so with the information located here on the screen. All right. So I just wanted to take that moment and invite you to give before we move to the next point. We have some comments coming in. All right. I see people are hashtagging. All right. All
Yes.
right. Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is good. This is good. All right.
Love it.
All right. Also, our interpretation of where we are. This is key to know when we are in need of help to regain or sustain our mental wellness.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you. Flourishing. Hashtag flourishing. All right, for our tea time community.
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right. So I just want to challenge us on a few things. Okay, so when I was something that I have been working on, Carmela, is something that I'm doing in order to help me to navigate through certain situations. And what I've done is I've created a self-care. I'm working on it right now, a self-care kit, but also for a mental wellness self-care kit. And so I want to challenge you all with that. What I've done is I have a actual a box that I have, and actually, Carmela, you gave me this box. You put a gift inside of it, and, and I'm
Okay.
using this box to put in different types of things. So
Hmm.
you say, okay, so I'm challenging all of you to do this. Okay, so I'm going to check in with you all next month. Okay, about it. Okay, so you says what goes in to this particular, what goes into this box? What am I putting in here? And so there's a lot of different things that you can put in it. For me, I have I'm putting in my candles. I have a candle that I'm putting in. And when I say that this is separate from the things I already have. This is something I go to in moments of stress or feelings or something's going on. This is a care box that I'm going to. So what I'm doing is I have a candle, I have a bag of my favorite tea. I have right now I have a cards with the scriptures and prayers on them. I have a special journal set aside for when I'm dealing with mental stress or things are going on. I have a journal that I have set aside. So here, when I say mental wellness self-care kit, this is something that you're going to create, that you're going to set to the side. Okay. And so maybe some aromatherapy candles, maybe a favorite scent. So it's all about smelling, hearing, and touching. Okay. So I've created, and we've talked about this in the past, I've created a playlist.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still working on mine. I have a crossword puzzle, and what I'm doing is I'm going to this box, and I just pick out certain things, that I need at that moment. And I created a playlist as well. So what do you think, Carmela, about having this mental health, like mental wellness self-care kit? What comes to mind when
I
you think
think
about that?
it's important. Each of us, I have something similar, but it's just something mobile that you can take with you
Yeah,
at your fingertips. And what I
yeah,
like about the fact that you're saying this is something that is going to be for all of our senses, to touch something or to hear something or whatever it is, to bring positivity into your well-being, into your moment when you need that,
yeah,
and not just when you're stressed, but just all the time. Something that you can have that's tangible. That candle's nothing like having that candle, that aromatherapy, or that music, like you said.
yeah.
I think building this mental self-care kit is important. I think everybody ought to jump on board,
Yeah.
get a box, get a box, find something that you love, like Hope has
Yep.
said, and start putting items in that you can
Yeah.
just take with you, or or just keep it at where you need it, because we're
Yeah.
all going to be
Yeah.
able to draw from that. I love
Yeah.
that. I love
I
that.
love what you're saying. So, that's really good. I'm really excited about it. So that anything, I'll also share this, even sensory things like toys like the stress balls. I have some balls
Yeah.
that someone gave me that I made that I kind of twirled around, and I had got those, and I used to use those. I've pulled those back out. You can use because I want to check in with our Tea Time
This is
community next
good.
month to see if you guys have done this box. And this is going to be set apart that you go to when you need to do things. So it can be music, listening. I love music. So music
Mhm.
is a great way to help you listen to your favorite artists, aromatherapy, like comforting blankets. You can have something that you like to touch. So for me, I have a new blanket that I was received as a gift. That is my favorite blanket. So that is something that I go to for comfort. All right. You can
This
do
is
adult coloring. Have a coloring book
yes.
with your kid. Take a moment to step away and say, you know what? I'm going to color some stuff. I'm going to do some
Mhm.
coloring. If you like sports, I like sports. You may take the time to do sports. Again, the connection, uh,
Yes. This is good.
journaling, that's a good way. So I'm challenging all the Tea Time community to go ahead and create this special box that you set aside. Go ahead and take that time to create that music. You may want to listen to some jazz. Something else that me and Carmela do, and I think Monique as well, we watch those fireplaces on the TV.
I knew you were going to say it.
Yeah, we watch those fireplaces on the
Yes.
TV, and I have sceneries. I can hear the crackling fireplace and the
Mhm.
snow coming down. It's just amazing, and it's
Yes.
absolutely relaxing. So you want to do something that you can touch, something that
Yes.
you can hear. Maybe something needs to be in your hand, maybe like a stress ball. All these things, and I'm going
This
to
is
come back to our TCOM community and challenge you all. All right, so that includes this our tea time practices for the day. I want you to go ahead and chime in and give me your feedback. What did you get today? What did you receive? What are your takeaways for feedback. All right. I see some comments are coming
Yes,
in.
a lot of good ones.
All right. Go ahead, Carmela. You can take that one.
Okay, Nita, she's saying, I like this idea. I have something like this in my office for students, but never thought to make a personal one for at home. I think I'll make one for me and Samia. Yes, sis.
Yeah, that's good. Yes. Thank you
Yes.
so much for sharing. All right. Michelle says, this is something I created as well, inspired my past by Pastor Carmela. Head Gratitudes box. It has been a healthy practice for me during difficult mental and emotional spaces. Thank you so much for sharing that, Michelle. All
Yeah.
right, and some more comments coming in. Polly says, yes, I listen to the thunder and rain sounds at night. Definitely calms my spirit. See, I
Yeah.
do the same thing. I do. I love it. You can take the next comment.
Charlisa said, I do too, just last night.
More people are listening than
Yes,
what we thought.
yes.
All right. Yes, I
She
use brown. I do
round.
too. Yeah, I do too. Nita, I use that as well. It's good. It's relaxing. So here it is. We have plenty of ways for mental wellness. I'm gonna check in with everybody next month, Carmela, to see if we all completed our boxes or things that we
Mhm.
have. And so we're gonna go ahead and move into our announcements
Love it.
this afternoon, and uh, go ahead and let you go ahead, Carmela, take over for announcements.
Okay. Well, this is a great opportunity for all of our tea timers to get involved with what the Renewal Center is doing. And so the Renewal Center has a lot of different programmings, a lot of different things going on here at the Renewal Center that we do outside of Sunday, even on Tuesday. We have something for everyone to get involved with. So, as we're putting up the announcements, one of our upcoming save the dates is you want to be a part of this. This is stress management webinar. It's going to be Friday, February 23rd at 7 to 8:30 p.m. Dr. Paul C. Brown, who is one of our tea timers and one of our supporters, he will be coming on to give us some stress management tips. We need it. So put that on your calendar to come join us here at the Renewal Center. It's one of our programs of Renewing Minds and Renewing Minds series. So we want you to be a part of that. Let's see, what else
Absolutely.
do we have going on? Our creatives meetup. There's still time to register. We want to get everybody involved. So if you are a business owner, we're all creatives. We all have something to share. But if you have a business where you're making things or doing things or you're providing a resource or some sort, please join us on January 27th. Get in touch with the Renewal Center. It's going to be 12 to 2 p.m. If you would like to come and showcase what you have, showcase your vision, and share with other creatives, this is a great place to come. So it's a couple of weeks. So get in contact with us to register so that you can be a part of this. And save the date. The prophetic gathering. This is the 5th year. It's going to be in Atlanta, April the 12th to the 13th. We want you to save that day, put it on your calendar so that you can make plans to come and attend with us in Atlanta for our 5th prophetic gathering. So we're excited about what we're going to be doing there and what we're going to be talking about. So be on the lookout so you can find out more information on our mobile app and on our social media platforms.
All right. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in to Tea Time. We have some announcements, so stay on. We're going to have those go as we get ready to close out this afternoon. I hope that you guys have received, and I will be checking back in when I come back on for Tea Time to see how it is coming with your mental wellness boxes for your self-care. Remember, self-care is also doing something kind for someone else.
Yes.
So today I'm going to challenge you to do something kind for somebody. Open a door, give a smile, check on somebody. Remember, we take care of each other. And so just go ahead and do something nice and be thoughtful and think of someone today. So I'm just glad that we had an awesome tea time. Thank you all so much for being a part of Tea Time and our Tea Time community where we pause, reset, and build resilience. We'll see you all next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful day and an awesome week. All right, until next time.